Hey Connor, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Tell us how was your practice today? What'd you work on?
Me specifically, pad level, speed off the ball. I think it was a great practice, though. We got a chance to compete seriously, live tackling, live cutting for the first time this spring, and it was a good practice, great competition, great energy.
How do you feel the spring is going for you? You're obviously working new teammates into your offensive line. How is that process going?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of guys who might have serviced us on scout last year, and we're trying to get them some of the experience and kind of get them up to speed. It's been good though.
Very good, Ken. We got Charles. Well, tell us, and Aaron, do you want to go ahead? Connor, let me just ask you, you got a chance to start most of last season and you grew into the position. A year Army had success running the ball. How did you feel you grew as a player over the 2020 season?
I think I grew tremendously over the year. I had a lot of great influences from both the coaches and some of the older guys last year. That was really helpful for my growth. Guys like JB Hunter, Mike Johnson, Peyton Reeder. Overall, it was a great year, but we're looking forward, and obviously there's always room to get better, and that's kind of what we're focused on now.
And obviously, what everybody's been asking about is you've got a deep roster at the quarterback position coming off last year, a lot of players that you worked with. First, tell us, how was it working last year when you had a different quarterback, it seemed like every couple of games to work with?
I mean, it's definitely a different situation, but it's easy when you have guys like them, Cade and Tyre, when they all came in. I mean, it was easy to get caught up to speed and work with them they have a great attitude and great effort every day.
Connor, can you tell us about how it was to crack into the starting lineup last year? What is it that you think you did or learned that gave you that edge to get into the starting lineup?
It started last year during camp, and we had great competition going. Again, like the influences from the older guys, that was really helpful. And the coaches decided to give me a chance and try to do the best I could.
Mm-hmm. What are the most critical aspects of your position? What are the most challenging things?
The most critical aspects for my position are probably coming off the ball quickly and pad level. Every high school, middle school coach always talks about pad level, and you have to be low to move people, and it's the same thing. Those are probably the two most important aspects. And then difficult, obviously always when you have someone right in your face, that makes it a little more difficult, but we have great competition out here with guys like Nolan Cockrell. We can push on each other, and it's been good.
I know a lot of the skill positions always get a lot of the attention, but what's it like being there in the trenches?
It's awesome. It's great to service the guys, and we might not get all the attention, but we take pride in that, and we can come out here and have a tough practice and be perfectly content with ourselves, and it's awesome.
Is there a lot of talk that takes place on the line of scrimmage between the two clubs?
Between the two teams?
Yeah.
On the line of scrimmage, it's mostly just communication. We have a few calls we need to make on a regular basis, so that takes up the majority of our time.
Mm-hmm.
Connor, maybe just going back to last season, you played the two games in the Commander-in-Chief Trophy Series back-to-back last December. I think you have to describe them as epic games. What are some of your takeaways and memories from those two extraordinary performances against Navy and then Air Force?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I took away was those games are always going to be razor thin. It really doesn't matter going into it what the season's been like for either team. It's always going to be super close, and the margin of victory is very slim, and that's just motivation in the off season, that you don't know which rep or which set, if you're in the weight room, is going to make the difference.
Yeah. And how is it for – go ahead, Ken.
Army's had a lot of success in the recent years. Do you think you guys can build off what you did last year?
Absolutely. If we keep coming in every day with a great attitude and effort, and just a desire to get better. I think there's no reason why we couldn't.
And Connor, just going to ask you about how the rest of your life at West Point is, the academic side, the military side as you finish your sophomore year. How is the rest of the West Point experience for you?
It's going well. I'm excited. Normally we do our cadet field training going into sophomore year, but things got moved around, so I'll be doing that after spring ball right as the semester ends. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to affirmation and all that. It's going well though. Thank you.
Connor, do you recall which was your first start, and can you take us back to that day and what it was like for you?
It was Middle Tennessee. It was definitely nerve-wracking, but once we stepped out on the field, it really, the coaches do a great job preparing us. It felt like we were back in practice, just running another period when we were on the field, or like we were in a scrimmage. So, especially with the stands being empty, it wasn't quite as nerve-wracking as I expected.
Sure. Why West Point?
West Point, the team, the culture of the team. When I visited, it was something that I couldn't look past. And then the academy itself, it's an honor to be a part of the Army and a part of the academy and the education, just generally the great people around me. It was a pretty easy decision.
Freshman year is always tough. So is it better come second year?
Oh, it's probably a little apples to oranges just because we've been faced with different challenges this semester with the COVID environment. There's some privileges which are nice to have, and there's also some more responsibilities. So.
And Connor, how is it about West Point as you move up each class year, you take on more responsibility because you're playing, you start a lot of games at West Point, you demonstrated leadership out on the field. How is it to assume leadership at West Point for you?
Yeah, it carries over very well. Leadership on the field to leadership down on the court. It's a great place both up here and at the court to test around with our leadership style and kind of see what we like. And yeah, but it does translate pretty well.
Connor, was today was more of a scrimmage though, right?
It was sort of like a normal practice with a little more interaction.
Okay, so just give us your overall take of what you saw.
I saw a lot of competition, some big plays being made on both sides, and guys that were really excited, and that excites me just seeing the energy that we had today.
Connor, as an offensive lineman, you're in the option offense. You're running the ball probably 80% of the time, maybe more some games. What is it like when they call a pass play and you say, "Okay, we got a pass block on this play"?
I mean, obviously, as an O-lineman here, we take pride in what we do and how much we run the ball. But when they call a pass play, it's line up and go do it. You know what I mean? It's there's no hard feelings or anything or any being down on ourselves. We trust the coaches and the plays they call, Coach Brent Davis, and it's go time. And we put as much effort into that as we do when we run the ball.
Very good. And just remind us, what town are you from?
I'm from Holland, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia.
Very good. And how is just looking forward to what do you want to work on the rest of spring practice?
Specifically, my hands. I want to do a little better job getting inside hands when I have a D lineman right in front of me. It's kind of the main thing right now, among others.
Very good. And how is it just again, working with the different quarterbacks? The coach told me last year that he wants the cadence to be exactly the same from each quarterback. Do you find that the quarterbacks are able to call the plays at the line of scrimmage at the same way, or give the signals?
Yeah, it's definitely an emphasis we've been having is standardizing through all center and quarterback exchanges, specifically with the snap. But that carries over into the cadence as well. And I think they're doing a great job with it. Kind of just standardizing so that we can work and rotate multiple guys at a time at the center and quarterback position, but I think it's going great.
Very good.